Should I start now?
Yeah.
We chose to research tanks for this assignment because we are both fascinated with how and why these machines are used. More specifically, the upper part of the tank known as the turret. We often see the portrayal of tanks in many video games, films, and in past wars such as World War I and World War II. During this presentation, we will talk about the original history of tanks, the different parts of it, and its development over the past 100 plus years. The origin of the tank dates all the way back to the early 1900s when Great Britain engaged in trench warfare of World War I, which typically ended with many casualties to their soldiers. Great Britain developed the tank in order to more easily clear a path to the enemy's trench without needing to sacrifice the lives of troops. Eventually, Germany developed their own version of the tank, which they used to respond to Britain. The first model of the tank developed by Great Britain included Caterpillar tracks, internal combustion engine, the hull, turret, armor, and guns. The Caterpillar tracks were very similar to conveyor belts. The engine was a varying amount of rotating steel sprockets which moved the track that is composed of hundreds of metal links. The internal combustion engine. Because a steam engine was unreliable in battle, the internal combustion engine allowed tanks to become more practical in the wars. Generated power through burning gasoline and fuel. The hull, the armored bottom half of the tank, which is responsible for moving the turret which lays on top of it. The turret, the armored rotatable mount on top of the hull which carried one or multiple guns. Armor, increased the sustainability of the tank by protecting each of its vital components. Guns, during these wars, the guns that were mounted on top of the turret were typically cannons or machine guns.
Alright, so a closer look at the turret and how it works. So the turret operates and rotates horizontally so that a vertically oscillating gun can aim. The first tanks used in World War II throughout the Cold War featured turret mechanisms where a hull-mounted spur gear engages a turret-mounted internal gear. Modern tank turrets utilize electronic motors to achieve the same traversing action, but at higher speeds and higher efficiencies. The development over the years. So from 1915, which is when the first tank was invented, through 1945, towards the end of the World War II, tanks were commonly seen using manual crank turrets, which would have to be hand cranked by operators within the tank, and were very slow at traversing. However, they were more efficient and easier to repair and maintain than those of the present day. From 1945 to the present, especially during the Cold War, the commonality of motorized turrets has increased, and it pretty much allowed for faster and easier rotation of the turret with help of electricity and motors. But the downside is that it just was much more difficult to maintain and repair than a more simple manual system as before. And in conclusion, tank turrets have allowed for them to rotate their guns without moving the whole hull of the tank. And also the same technology has been used, that's used in turret rings has been used in similar technologies that are very common in our modern world today, like in robotics and various construction machines like this crane seen above. Thank you. Okay, how do I stop the recording?